Hello coffee lovers, today I have another coffee review for you, and this one is from Andytown. I did a review of an Andytown coffee before. They are based in San Francisco's Sunset District, and I think they've only been around for about a year now. And this is the Wind and Sea blend, it's called, and it is comprised of, I believe, two different types of beans, or at least two different regions, those being Colombia and Ethiopia. The description of the coffee itself is on the back, which I think is pretty cool. I always love when roasters give you some recommended tips, and I'll link to this picture or just add it to the end of the video. But the recommended brewing methods are drip coffee and French press. I tried one of those two, that being drip coffee. Don't own a French press currently, but in the near future I'll have one, so I'll be getting those into the reviews too. At least that brew method, I should say. So it's described as kind of a cozy, warm blend. They named it Wind and Sea, they say, because after, a nice day of surfing here in San Francisco, that is very cold hobby, by the way, and they say that it's nice to come in and have a cup of this because it warms them up. So it's a very savory blend, and they describe it as having hints of peat smoke, toffee, and buttered toast. So I brewed with about 5 different methods. I tried the Chemex, I tried my Aeropress, standard, not inverted, Hario V60 for pour over, and then the first thing I used was the brazen. And let's just start with the brazen. It was actually not surprisingly good, but I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was, considering I brewed, I think, a day after the roast date. So generally when you're brewing coffee a day after the roast, it could be a little bit misleading, a little bit too early. Some of those gases haven't escaped yet to bring out the full and great flavors of the coffee. So I was really impressed with how it came out. I used an 18:1 ratio, so 18 grams or 18 parts water to every 1 part coffee. And of these 4 methods, my favorite was the Aeropress, just slightly over the Hario. The brazen was also very good. I kind of considered these two in the same category. I know some people would disagree with me, but this is an SCA certified coffee maker, so the temperature is controlled for, the even extraction is controlled for. So the Aeropress was interesting, and my favorite in particular because of the complexity it brought out. I noticed that while it was definitely a savory aftertaste, and the one that I really agree with here, that they say, buttery toast, what I was picking up on was something like a pancake draped in butter and syrup. So like it had a very syrupy aftertaste. But what was interesting was that the initial flavor, and this was something I found across all brew methods, including espresso, was kind of like a sharp strawberry, and then it changed into this buttery, really pleasant aftertaste. And for those reasons, if there's just 2 beans being used in this blend, I have to say that that's some pretty nice complexity. And I do think that the aftertaste is the best part about this coffee. But I wasn't complaining about the flavor itself. It wasn't too sour for me. It was definitely bordering on it sometime, especially with the espresso, but considering that all of the shots I pulled were within the first week of roast, so actually within 4 days, I thought that the espresso was decent, although I wouldn't recommend this blend for espresso. As far as drip though and Aeropress, I think it's pretty fantastic and definitely worth it. The beans themselves have a pretty nice aroma, and you can see maybe the differences in shades, and overall it's pretty much a medium roast. But other things I picked up on, I tasted a little bit of Tootsie Roll actually in the first shot that I pulled, and very slight blueberry in the last shot I pulled. So in general, you're not gonna be picking up too much fruit with this blend, but you will on the initial sip, if that makes sense. But it's really more of a savory blend as they describe here, and I found that was particularly true with the Chemex. I wasn't picking up too much fruit at all, at least not as much as I was with the Aeropress and Hario. So if you're interested, this runs for $9.50, at least where I bought it from, and it comes in a small 8-ounce bag, so there's not a whole lot of coffee per bag, but I think online they sell bigger bags, so you'll have to check on that. But I'll of course link to it in the full review. And if you want to see the score that I gave this coffee, just head down to the link below, where I break down each of the 5 rating categories that I normally use, those being aroma, aftertaste, flavor, acidity, and body. Thanks for watching, and again, that's Andytown's Wind and Sea.